Hello and welcome to the Callahan podcast. Today we had a very interesting conversation with Miss Michaela. We got into a lot of touchy issues, but it's really cool to see not only her point of view and to see my point of view and how they correlate. So in this podcast we kind of go through that and we kind of look into that. But thank you to her for doing it, and also thank you to Bass Pro Shots for the sponsorship. Fish big, baby. What's going on? This is Connor Callahan, my first ever podcast with the beautiful
Michaela.
So we're going to do this today. It's going to be really interesting and hope we get some good conversation out of it. So let's just start off. So you see a lot of it in culture and stuff, like this whole, do you, when you're around, let's say, have you ever been in a situation where you're around a lot of guys and you feel uncomfortable in a sense?
Yes.
Yeah, you kind of feel overpowered maybe?
Yeah, as a female, you kind of get that sense just because men can tend to be very aggressive.
Oh, yeah, especially if they've been drinking, smoking, whatever.
Or whatever.
You know? You'll see it at the bar sometime and you'll be like, dude, you kind of need to relax,
but
you know?
even sober.
They get crazy?
They can be a little...
When you look like you do, they might get crazy.
They can be a little pushy even when they're sober.
So, because when... And I looked at when I was thinking about doing this, I was looking at it from both sides. If I'm around a group of men, it's just me and my boys hanging out. You know, it's
right.
Not really like that. If I'm around a group of females, I don't really feel uncomfortable. You know, if anything, it makes me feel like the man.
I think that's common for guys because guys don't tend to. There's really no reason for them to be afraid of a female.
Yeah.
I mean, yes, things happen to guys, but more commonly,
oh, of course,
it's the other way around.
Yeah. So in part 2 of this video, I focus more on race relations, mostly race relations with police, because we'd have a different perspective, being that I'm white and that she is African American. Do you have a fear? Do you feel like you have a fear of that in a sense?
Well, being the skin color that I am, and being a female, there's always, being my skin color for one, there's always that fear of certain people in authority, especially policemen, especially as of more recent events dating back to Trayvon Martin. But as a female, you also have that fear too, because we're just not as strong.
Exactly, you could be overpowered. You could be overpowered easily in a sense.
So being my skin color and a female just kind of, it pushes that even further.
For sure. Yeah. So for the last part of this video, we brought together both our differences in gender and in race and show the different perspectives we had on that and how that has put us in different situations and how we see those situations. My race, I'll put it in this perspective. When we used to go to a basketball court or something, and there was that black guy that always come play with us, everybody wanted the black guy. You know, I feel like it's that, but in a more serious level. You know what I'm saying?
Yes and no.
Okay.
So that is an unfair stereotype put on us. Now, when you say advantages, that's to say that me and you go apply for the same job.
Okay.
Me and you have the same degree.
Yeah.
Me and you have the same experience. We've worked together basically our whole lives. Let's just say that. And we go in and apply for a job. Who's most likely going to get it? And I would say you, because you are a white male.
Exactly.
Versus me being
That's
a
crazy
black
to think about that, you know?
Yeah. Now, for me, growing up, I kind of, when I was younger, maybe I didn't have to think about it as much. But now, getting older, you have to think about it. You probably would never have to think about it.
Yeah, I never, thought about it like that. Because I feel everybody's, I always came from this perspective, everybody has equal opportunities, everybody has this, that, but when you look at it and you actually look at the numbers and stuff, it's almost shocking to see it. You know?
It's shocking when you haven't actually had to hear it growing up.
Exactly.
And then when you have, grown up with it, it's almost as if, when people finally realize it, you're like, okay.
Yeah, for real.
I remember this when I was 10. How are you 20 and now you're realizing it?
Exactly. Because I remember, when I was, 10 or 12, you never thought about any of this stuff, man. You were just thinking about what girl you were going to share your fruit bar with on the playground. You know, you weren't caring about all this.
You're a fruit boy. Yep.
And now you think about it.
You have to, because in the world that we live in, if you don't, you're just kind of clueless.
So do you feel like in a sense that you have to work harder in a sense?
Yeah.
To get through that, to make it to there?
Yeah. And then work harder and you still end up behind.
Dang. That's crazy thing. And just because it's something that you had no control over.
No control over. You had no control over the parents you were born to. You had no control over the skin color that you were born with.
No control over the gender or anything.
Anything. You were born into this body, this life that you have. Well, you have control over it once you're here. But after that, the things that hinder you, unless you've actually put them out there yourself, you have no control over them.
It's crazy to think. It's crazy to think because of those two things. Like, not education, not work experience, not all that, can be what separates somebody from getting a job and somebody not getting a job.
Yeah, it's crazy to think it, but it